There was a lot of talk that happened in Parliament. There was also a walk out that happened in Parliament. But let's be very, very clear. Thanks very much, Christine. Let's be very, very clear that today, and in fact the last 3 days, have pretty much set the tone. This is not about the debate that happened or the no trust motion. Because remember, the no trust motion's outcome was known to everyone. The intention was twofold. The opposition, as they said clearly today, they wanted to get the Prime Minister in the House to corner him specifically on the issue of Manipur, tell the people that we forced him to speak even though he didn't want to. And the Prime Minister came in to not just set the record straight on the issue of Manipur, but to remind people and the opposition of their own history and also speak to the people about what the next few months are going to hold. That speech of the Prime Minister carried on for 2 hours 13 minutes while he replied to the no trust motion brought against him. He spoke at length about the violence that has rocked the state, and while doing so reminded the Congress in particular about the legacy issues that have led to the Northeast being unstable and the violence-ridden area not just of the last 3 months but for decades. In particular, he referred to not just how Manipur had been blockaded and been victim of relentless insurgencies for decades, but also how the Northeast had been ignored. In particular, he made references to the 1960s, in fact 1962, when Assam was left to its own devices in the face of a Chinese attack. He referred to March 5, 1966, when the Indian Air Force, for the first and the last time, was actually sent in to strafe, to bomb Indian citizens. They were insurgents of the Mizo National Front, and it happened in Mizoram. But most importantly, he asked that even if the Congress doesn't want to refer to its own past in the Northeast, why are they asking for death to Bharat Mata and talking about the division of Manipur? Is this a ploy of dividing a part of the country in order to ensure that they can rule India?
बारे में जो कहा गया है उसने हर भारतीय की भावना को गहरी ठेस पहुंचाई। ऐसा हाल किसी का हो जाता है, सत्ता सुख के बिना जी नहीं सकते हैं। और क्या क्या भाषा बोल रहे हैं। नॉर्थ ईस्ट की इन समस्याओं की कोई जननी है तो जननी एकमात्र कांग्रेस है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोग इसके लिए जिम्मेवार नहीं हैं, इनकी ये राजनीति जिम्मेवार है। मैं पिछले 9 साल के मेरे प्रयासों से कहता हूं कि हमारे लिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट हमारे जिगर का टुकड़ा है। 5 मार्च 1966 वायुसेना से हमला करवाया गया, निर्दोष नागरिकों पर हमला करवाया गया। और माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, आज भी मिजोरम में 5 मार्च को आज भी पूरा मिजोरम शोक मनाता है। उस दर्द को मिजोरम भूल नहीं पा रहा है कि अपने ही देश में वायुसेना से हमला करवाना, कौन था उस समय? इंदिरा गांधी।
Even as the Prime Minister was speaking, the opposition staged a walkout. They said later that they didn't get the answers that they wanted. The Prime Minister engaged more in electoral bhashanbazi than specifically referring to the issue of Manipur, the problem that the state has faced over the last 3 months, and more importantly, that this was nothing more than obfuscation.
प्रधानमंत्री जी आज भी मणिपुर के मुद्दे पे नीरव रह गए। तो नीरव रहने के चलते मैंने सोचा कि नया नीरव मोदी को देखने में क्या फायदा, क्योंकि मोदी जी नीरव रहते हैं, तो इसलिए इनके बात सुनने में क्या फायदा होगी, क्या जरूरत क्या है, क्योंकि उनकी दरबारियों ने सारे बात कर चुके हैं। मोदी जी जिस बातों को दोहराते हैं उनकी दरबारियों ने सारे कुछ कर चुके हैं। मोदी खुद कहते हैं कि सारे देश उनके साथ है, सारे देश की विश्वास उनके साथ है, लेकिन फिर कांग्रेस की डर उनको सताता है। कांग्रेस की डर उनको सताते हैं। इसका मतलब मोदी जी पे खुद अपने पे ही उनका विश्वास घट रहे हैं।
हमारी अपेक्षा थी कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री को हम सुनना चाहते थे और बड़ी अपेक्षा से हम रुके हुए थे कि अभी नहीं तो आगे 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 वो कुछ इकोनॉमी के बारे में बोले, महंगाई के बारे में बोले, बेरोजगारी के बारे में बोले, नहीं तो मणिपुर के में विस्थापित पूरा बोले। हमारी अपेक्षा थी, इच्छा थी कि मणिपुर की बहनों के लिए बोले, जो अत्याचार हो से उसके खिलाफ बोले, लेकिन 1.5 घंटे में उसमें से 90% टाइम वो इंडिया पे बोले।
So the question is, has the Prime Minister managed to answer his critics, especially on an issue as sensitive, as emotive and searing as Manipur? Can the issue of Manipur be seen in isolation without the historical context, and in doing so is history being deliberately ignored to create further divides and fan hate? Most importantly, in referring to history, is the government only trying to pass the buck? Let me take the question across with Vinod Agnihotri, senior journalist, with me in the studio, Sanjay, author, Tauseef Rehman, spokesperson of the TMC, Shantanu, Gupta, author, and that first question goes to you, Shehzad, Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. The constant complaint with the BJP is, in the last 9 years, every single problem, every single time a question has been asked of the government, we are told it is the Congress's fault. Is Manipur today also the Congress's fault?
What response from the Prime Minister would have made the Congress party say, yes, Prime Minister, you have done right? In the last 9 years, when we did Digital India right, did they say it was right? When we said Swachh Bharat karo, toilet bana lete hain, they said it is right. We said Jan Dhan account khol lete hain, they said it is right. We said Azadi ke Amrit Mahotsav mein Sardar Patel ki unity statue bana dete hain, did they say it's right? We said forget everything, Kartavya Path ka naam badal dete hain, राजपथ का नाम कर्तव्य पथ करते, नेताजी की भव्य मूर्ति लगा देते. Did they say it is right? GST they wanted to bring, we put it in place. Did they say it is right? Padmaja, what would we have said or done where this man on your screen right now would have said that no, what Modi did was right? You tell me. And therefore this was never about...
Opposition is not supposed to say what you're doing is right, right?
Exactly,
there won't be an opposition then.
Thank you. So therefore, I don't want to go by their criticism or their assessment. What the people will say is more important for me. And go and ask the people of this country. 5 years ago, they brought this no confidence motion. And 5 years again, they have brought this no confidence motion because they have no confidence in themselves. The people of India have confidence in Modi. And the reason why they have confidence in Modi is because today the Prime Minister made a sharp but empathetic, detailed and comprehensive speech. He spoke about the challenges, followed by the Home Minister who spoke about the challenges of Manipur. The challenge of Manipur did not happen overnight. Journalists like you know Northeast by the back of your hand, and you have studied the change that has taken place in the last 9 years. Of course, a situation arose after what happened in Myanmar and after the High Court order. Who denies it? But those who bombed Azawal, those who did not do anything for Assam, those who did not sign any accords like the Bodo Accord, Karbi Anglong Accord, the Assam Meghalaya road dispute or various other accords, those who did not do development said by Mr. Lohia, forget us. Mr. Lohia said you did not do development. Those who said bye-bye Assam in 1962 are telling us about Northeast. Those who had left Northeast to be only bomb, blockade and blast, today are talking about it when the Prime Minister has visited 50 times and ministers have gone 400 times. 1 lakh crore has been spent on development, 60,000 is being spent on railways, airport connectivity has more than doubled. They are talking to us about this.
Okay.
And therefore, Padmaja, just last point. I just have one question to ask. Why is the outrage of the Lutyens' nanny of Rahul Gandhi selective? This is not whataboutery. In 1993, the gentleman sitting here was in big position in journalism, and he still is, and I regard him, I love him so much. Sir, in 1993, when 200 people died, did you demand resignation of the then Prime Minister or the then Home Minister? In 2011, when Manmohan Singh was in power, 123 days blockade, did you demand the resignation of Okram Ibobi Singh? Or in 1997, when 1 year and 1 month the entire blockade continued and it was IK Gujarat supported by UF government, did you demand resignation of anybody? Not even a statement was laid. 350 people were killed. So it is not whataboutery. This is selective approach of these people, and therefore people are saying no confidence in Rahul, confidence in Modi.
Vinodji, do you think that the Prime Minister has managed to answer the questions which were being raised by reminding people of facts? And the fact is that this is a problem that had festered for a while. The fact also is that even in Manipur, In Bishnupur, I was speaking to some people in security forces. They said that Bishnupur mein aye din there used to be clashes. Yeah. Not of the magnitude that we see right now, but between the Kukis and the Mehtis, the Nagas and the Kukis, there have been clashes, largely because of the lack of border fencing, and especially after 2 years ago, the Myanmar conflict escalated. Actually, so today the Prime Minister is saying, look, ये लोग आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं बता रहे हैं, आपको सिर्फ ये 3 महीने की बात बता रहे हैं, मैं आपको बताता हूं कि 3 दशकों से वहां पे क्या हो रहा है.
No, problem in the Manipur is very deep rooted. It's not today's problem only. It is, but the spark was that High Court decision that is that provoked the issue entire. But I think today in the Lok Sabha, when the no confidence motion was discussed for 2 days, whether it is opposition or it is a ruling, both sides were addressing the people of the country, neither the parliament. The entire discourse is election oriented, election centric. You see, opposition took the this no confidence motion on Manipur issue, and they gone up to they addressed many other issues also, but their focus was Manipur. Every speaker from the opposition benches, they spoke on Manipur.
But then you are actually agreeing with कि जो बीजेपी बोल रही है, बीजेपी बोल रही है कि आपका इंटरेस्ट जो है मणिपुर में नहीं है, आपका इंटरेस्ट ये है कि मोदी की इमेज को टार्निश करके इलेक्शन में उनको घेरा जाए.
नहीं, देखिए, हमेशा एवरी टाइम अपोजिशन टारगेट किसको करता है? द लीडर ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, एंड दैट इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर.
बट वो फैक्चुअल टारगेटिंग होनी चाहिए ना.
आई एग्री विद यू.
आप पूरा उसका पीछे बैकग्राउंड बताइए कि भाई ये ऐसा नहीं है कि मोदी ने खुद जाकर के वहां पर कोई आग लगा दी और मणिपुर जलने लगी.
मोदी ने आग नहीं लगाई और ना ही किसी ने आग लगाई. आग तो जो पहले से ही राख थी वहां या चिंगारी थी, वो भड़की. अभी शहजाद was saying that 1993, he was referring 1993 the Manipur crisis.
Correct.
But yes, no one has demanded the resignation of the then Prime Minister Narendra Modi or the Home Minister. But at that time, within a week, after 7 days, Narendra Modi dismissed his own government, Raja Dorendra Singh. That was the Congress government, and that government was dismissed. And there was central rules are imposed, and uske baad fir things are controlled. That was also a fact.
Things are actually not controlled. More than 200-300 people died at that time.
I agree. Controlled मतलब चलता नहीं रहा ना. 2 महीने 3 महीने बाद ठीक किया सेंट्रल रूल ने. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि वो भी एक फैक्ट है. Nobody has demanded resignation of the Prime Minister.
So actually ठीक नहीं हुआ क्योंकि उसके बाद से वहाँ पर इंसर्जेंसी शुरू हुई. इंसर्जेंसी तो खैर 1963 से शुरू हुई थी.
The history of insurgency in Manipur is
1963
से. And the PLA was formed and the Tema Singh and all other people.
जो कि बाद में mainstream politics
में आ गए. तो वो इंसर्जेंसी का तो बहुत डीप रूटेड है वहां पर. लेकिन मैं 1993 की बात कर रहा हूं. जब 1993 की बात कर रहे हैं लोग, तो दोनों फैक्ट्स रखने चाहिए कि किसी ने प्राइम मिनिस्टर का, होम मिनिस्टर का इस्तीफा नहीं मांगा, ये सही है, और ना प्राइम मिनिस्टर से जवाब मांगा. लेकिन प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने भी प्रोएक्टिव होकर के अपनी सरकार को बर्खास्त कर दिया. यहाँ प्रॉब्लम शुरू होती है कि जो मणिपुर के चीफ मिनिस्टर बीरेन्द्र सिंह खुद कह रहे हैं कि ऐसी सैकड़ों एफआईआर हैं, ऐसे मतलब 5000 से ज्यादा कितने केसेस हैं, उसके बावजूद उन पर कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया गया. इसलिए अपोजिशन ये डिमांड कर रहा था. प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर.
तो आपने भी, बीजेपी ने भी आधा फैक्ट.
नाउ आई विल टेल यू, विनोद जी, within 2 days the DGP was changed, the Chief Secretary was changed, Security Advisor was sent from the center, Unified Command was created. If the Chief Minister of Manipur was not cooperating with the central government, then the need of the 356 would have arisen. But he was cooperating fully. Maybe Narasimha Rao ke saath that time he was not cooperating.
No.
And one second, Vinod ji, let me complete. Vinod ji, let me complete.
Yeah.
Perhaps because he was not cooperating, even after sacking the Chief Minister, the violence did not stop there. Here the violence had come down tremendously after the first point of inflection, which was the High Court order. Secondly, Vinod ji, 1997, when 352 people were killed, tab kisne resign kiya? 1 year it lasted. And thirdly, sir, you know who has blamed? One second, last point. You have acknowledged this from 50 years, 60 years, this problem. Rahul Gandhi. Ideology of RSS, BJP has set Manipur on fire. Is this true?
I am not the.
I am asking you. No, sir. I am not putting you in that position of a Congress spokesman.
Sanjay,
I will never put you in that because I consider you to be a guru of mine. I am asking you as a guru who objectively analyzes: is this a truthful statement by Rahul Gandhi, or is it an uninformed, immature gibberish that he is used to doing?
Rahul Gandhi is a politician. He will always.
Is this true factually, sir?
I am not going in debate.
Was the RSS and BJP around when but as an objective observer, what do you think? Was the BJP ideology responsible for the fire in Manipur?
That is a long debate, Shehzad.
Is it? Please tell me, in 1997, where was the BJP? In 1993, where was the BJP? Where was Modi? Then I can go and tell Modi ji that Modi ji, aapne aag laga di. Bolo na mujhe. But Rahul Gandhi spreads this kind of rumors. Now I'll tell you one more point.
Okay, let Sanjay Jha answer this. If you asked a specific question, let Sanjay Jha answer
ये
this.
बात तो पार्लियामेंट में करनी चाहिए थी आपके लोगों को भाई
पर
जो आप
उन्होंने
मुझसे
तो
पूछ
walkout
रहे
कर
हैं
लिया ना, उन्होंने तो वॉकआउट कर
नहीं
लिया।
तो 2 घंटे 2.5 घंटे बोला प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने, तब तो कह सकते थे ना ये।
नहीं तो जब उन्होंने मणिपुर के बारे में बात करनी शुरू की तो उस वक्त पूरा का पूरा कांग्रेस वॉकआउट हो गया। गौरव गोगोई जी से उसके बाद में पूछा गया था, बताइए संजय झा। Now
I think opposition should have not boycotted that is my point. They should have.
The walkout shouldn't have happened.
They shouldn't have.
So finally, when the time to give answers, listen to the Prime Minister came, the opposition walked out. Why? Were these not facts which were palatable?
Okay. Padmaja, since this is a serious debate, please give me a little bit of uninterrupted time. I won't take too long. It is a shame that today we are talking about Manipur in a political fashion, because if the Prime Minister had any morality or conscience, he didn't have to be forced to come to Parliament to speak, which he ducked, dodged and deflected for 2 hours. This is an insult today of the women of Manipur. You know, Padmaja, this is an insult to the women of India. What happened in Manipur was a gang rape of a woman in a 26-second video that Narendra Modi's government kept India in the dark. If that video had not gone viral, I don't think we would have known even
Amit
today.
Shah said yesterday very clearly that video was kept with the political party. It was not with them. Nobody was kept in the dark. They did not have it. It was shot and reserved for political purposes. This the Home Minister said, not me.
I requested you to not interrupt me because I won't take too long.
Yes, go on.
By the way, what kind of a government do you have in Manipur that you are saying the video? Amit Shah lied in Parliament yesterday. The videos of real events, and the real events should have been known to the Assam police, to the Manipur police, and to the Chief Minister, to the district magistrate. How come the real events of Manipur are not known to the administration and to the Chief Minister? And I'm going to quote to you here. By the way, hear this quote. Mizoram BJP Vice President, Mr. R. Varamchunga, you know what he said publicly? He resigned from the BJP. This is not a congressman. This is a BJP person from Mizoram. And guess what he writes? Massive demolition of Christian churches during the violence in Manipur. And the more important point, supported by the state and central authorities. He goes on to mention that Amit Shah came to Manipur and did not do enough to actually contain the violence.
Sir,
this is, by the way, Padmaja,
whenever you are quoting, selectively quoting, by the way, you should also then quote the Methi MLAs of the BJP. You are selectively quoting anyone who's saying the BJP is responsible. There are MLAs of the BJP who are saying that the Congress is responsible, but you choose not to quote them. Chalo, if you are quoting people selectively, let me quote to you from a letter that has been given to the Honorable Prime Minister of India by people today morning, by the Methi community. Actually 40 MLAs have signed this letter. Sanjay Jha, as somebody who is quoting people from Manipur about a possible solution, let me tell you about their third demand. Their third demand is implementation of NRC. No, this has gone on for too long. Now let's talk facts.
Yes.
Implementation of NRC is the third demand, where they say the issue must be addressed politically in order to resolve this crisis of conflict. There are many options that can be explored. On the one hand, to reassure the indigenous people of Manipur, the National Register of Citizens must be implemented sooner rather than later. Biometric registrations of immigrants have started and should be expanded and strengthened. Does the Congress party support the NRC, yes or no? People of Manipur, 40 MLAs have given this signed letter. Does the Congress party, should it support NRC, yes or no?
Hello, I am not speaking here on behalf of the Congress party.
As an individual, sir, you have come on television and opposed NRC tooth and nail. People hit the streets. You tell me, do you support NRC, yes or no?
I'm asking three
people of Manipur want it. Since
Okay,
you're
I'm answering
quoting
your
one
question.
MLA from Mizoram, one MLA from Manipur, there are 40 MLAs who signed this letter for NRC.
Okay, let
Do
me
you
answer
support
you.
it?
Let me answer you. Let me answer you. I want to ask a question.
Answer my
Where was
question.
the Prime Minister?
Do you,
One
as a
minute.
person concerned about Manipur, support this demand for NRC? Yes or no?
I have to read the text. I'm not going to answer you on a television
I read out
screen.
the text to you. Let me
No,
read it
no,
out for
no,
your
that's
benefit
not
again.
read it.
Implementation
Excuse
of
me.
NRC,
Hello?
the issue must be
Hello?
addressed politically in order to resolve this crisis. Biometric registrations of immigrants have started and should be expanded and strengthened. The NRC should be implemented in Manipur sooner rather than later. The fact of the matter is, sir, that if you speak to anyone in the Assam Rifles, which has been at the forefront of insurgency in the northeast, they will tell you that if successive governments had created the fencing with Myanmar, we won't be in this
Padmaja, can I
ankle-deep
speak?
muck we are right now.
Yeah. Can I speak without
Yes,
your
go on.
interruption?
Now
Because
answer
you're-
the NRC part.
Yeah, I
Don't
will answer your
selectively
question.
quote people.
I will answer your question and you will not interrupt me because I do believe let's have some basic protocol and decency
Yes,
on the show.
but
Here's
let's
my
talk
point
facts.
number one. Here is my point. Yeah, on facts. The Supreme Court had to tell India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, stop bluffing. You know what they said? The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court said,
So
no,
do you
what
support
about
NRC?
Okay,
These are
1 minute.
real solutions
Hello?
that people of
Hello?
Manipur. You are now
Hello?
just repeating yourself
Hello?
from what we have debated
I'm
over the
not.
last 3 months.
I am not.
Here are
Punjab-
people of Manipur giving a signed representation saying, we want this. Do you support this
Can I
demand?
answer? Can I answer?
Do you support this
What
demand?
the Supreme Court say on 6,000 FIRs and no action taken? And by the way, I want hope before you take the program away from me. The Punjab and Haryana High Court said yesterday, are you doing ethnic cleansing in Haryana? This
Sir,
is the
again,
shame
you
of
will not answer a specific
It's the shame
question
of the Narendra
because it's
Modi.
it's easier
run away from
to
it.
step around
Can't run
factual
from it.
positions. You know, when people say,
woman has been
I
gang
heard the whole debate over the last 3 days,
woman has
and it
been
was
gang
very
raped in
interesting.
Assam.
It was very interesting how people came out
Woman
and
has
said
been gang
there is
raped
an
in Manipur.
ethnic cleansing of a community. I highly recommend that political parties start naming names and saying, which community are you suggesting is being ethnically cleansed, that it's a one-sided genocide? A member of parliament used the word genocide. Are you seriously suggesting that instead of an ethnic clash, it's ethnic cleansing and genocide of one community? Now, the Congress also will have to name names and take sides. Are you saying that the Metis are carrying out ethnic cleansing? Then you have to go back. Remember, your chief minister comes from the same community in Manipur. When he goes back to Manipur, he has to say, my party thinks that my community is involved in ethnic cleansing. Let's not goose step around real issues. Let's talk about it.
You cannot deflect it.
It's not a deflection, sir.
No, you
This
are
is
deflecting
what
it.
is happening right now is general homilies
Stop,
are being
then I will
given
answer you.
without people
stop, then I
addressing
will answer
facts. Now let me ask you another specific question. Okay, one specific question which was raised here by the Bharatiya Janata Party. You say it is shameful the Prime Minister engaged in politics. When the former Congress president said that BJP and RSS are carrying out the killing of people in Manipur, is that not politics?
Can I answer you?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. He's the Prime Minister of India, and the purpose behind the no confidence motion was Manipur. And the Prime Minister is a coward. He's a coward. Narendra Modi
You are
is a
again,
coward.
sir, not answering
he
the
didn't have
question.
the guts to speak on Manipur.
Mr.
He's a
Jha,
coward.
it is easy to abuse rather than address
course.
facts.
What do you
I
mean? What's
urge
the
you to
coward means
answer the
someone who's
question.
scared.
Are
He's
you
scared. Narendra
saying
Modi is
that to
scared.
randomly blame the
not
BJP
speak
and
in
RSS for a problem that has been festering for the last 60 years is not politics? Do you
No,
even
what
know
kind
why
of a
the
leader
Assam
do you
Rifles
have?
was raised? Because in
Hello?
the 60s, we were
Padmaja
subjected to the
Joshi.
worst kind of insurgency for which a specialized force had to be created. That is why the
Padmaja
Assam
Joshi.
Rifles came into being.
Padmaja Joshi, let me remind you. Why
Mr.
did the
Modi
no
did not
confidence-
create the insurgency and Mr.
आप
Modi
बोलने
did not
दीजिए
create the
जरा।
Assam Rifles.
मैडम जरा 2 मिनट बोलने दीजिए.
बोलिए सर, but
No
facts पे
confidence-
बोलिए.
No confidence motion was brought by the opposition. We knew we were going to lose. But that was the only
You
way
are
to get
answering
the
everything except the pointed question, sir.
But
अगर
the Vishnu-
मोदी जी ने मणिपुर की ये हालत की है, तो असम राइफल्स को 50 साल पहले क्यों बनाया गया था, सर? किस चीज के लिए, किस इंसर्जेंसी के लिए? इंसर्जेंसी तो अभी 2014 में मोदी जी ने शुरू करवाई है ना।
प्रधानमंत्री 80 दिन तक चुप रहे, क्यों? उसका जवाब दिया उन्होंने। 36 सेकंड बोलते हैं, 36 सेकंड। 6000 FIRs हैं और उनके मुख्यमंत्री अभी भी वहां पर बैठे हुए हैं। क्या हुआ है जाके देखते वहां क्या हुआ है हालत।
Okay, respond to this, Shehzad Poonawalla, but just, you know, when people indulge in politics, sometimes a fact check is important. You say the BJP and the RSS is responsible. Very in passing, let me mention that in Manipur itself, the RSS runs 3 hostels, 36 students study there, 44 education centers with 663 beneficiaries, 13 medical centers, and all of this is done through the Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram. That is just specific to Manipur, not even the Northeast. How many schools have been opened by the Congress party in particular? Anyway, answer. The question wasn't answered satisfactorily in Parliament today. Shehzad Poonawalla.
The esteemed panelist who resorted to abuse said that the Supreme Court quoted something. The High Court quoted, rule of law nahi hai, law of the ruler, when 21 women were raped as part of revenge by TMC. Their affidavits are in court. Isn't that brutal? The High Court said it. We are talking about MLAs of the BJP. Here's a Congress MLA, Divya Maderna. 3 साल से महेश जोशी के बेटे पर रेप की FIR नहीं हुई है. One minister wanted to speak about what was happening in Rajasthan. Here's the Dalit girl who was killed.
But you're doing what about it? See, the Supreme Court said don't do what about it. Don't bring in Rajasthan
The Supreme Court should for a moment also understand that what I am doing is not whataboutery, is that just showing that there should not be selective outrage, with all due respect.
Are you accusing the Supreme Court of selective outrage?
I am saying that the Supreme Court knows how to distinguish between whataboutery and selective outrage. I am only calling out the selective outrage of some. Here is a woman who was gang raped in front of her husband. Those who pretend to be Lutyens' nannies of Rahul Gandhi should tell us that when the police tried to stop this case, just being a cheap lookalike of Steve Jobs won't cut it. Facts will. And therefore I want to ask, 772 deaths came down to almost nil. I did not even say who. I did not say who. Why are people reacting? Did I say who's a cheap lookalike of Steve Jobs? Thank you. So here is 772 deaths under your government. It was almost nil before the High Court order came. Here is 4,700 insurgencies. It came down to 1,600 insurgencies because accords and peace is being built by the Modi government. These are the number of people that were killed in the Northeast, 90% drop in the civilian deaths. So please understand one thing, Mr. Sanjay Jha. You can keep abusing Prime Minister Modi. That is what you are left with. Even the Congress doesn't take you seriously, like it doesn't take Adhir Ranjan seriously. It doesn't take Adhir Ranjan and you both seriously. Both are suspended, not just in status but in logic. Not just in status but in logic. So stop being a cheap lookalike of Steve Jobs for a change and start answering all the facts. Did the RSS BJP ideology spark the fire in Manipur as said by Rahul Gandhi? But I know you don't have the intellectual depth or the gravitas to answer that question, notwithstanding the looks that you pretend to give on television screens. Maybe you should come out of your Lutyens cocoon and answer whether Rahul Gandhi has
the question to him.
Yeah. Did the Manipur fire get lit by the BJP RSS ideology? Yes or no? Do you have the gravitas or the words to answer that question?
Okay, let's get in the TMC. Tauseef or Rehman?
Padmaja, I mean, thank you. It's been 20 minutes and हमारे यहाँ ना एक कहावत है बंगाली में, जितनी दोष नंदू घोष, जो तो दोष नंदू घोष. So from past 20 minutes, I'm hearing my best friend, my brother Shehzad. I mean, he's not serious with Manipur. He is here to praise our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, what he said on for his speech inside the Parliament. But the BJP still has the audacity to do whataboutery, where 58,000 people are homeless. There is no sanitary napkin inside the camp. No baby food. Girls are living in fear. Any moment someone can rape or murder them. The governor has given up. The CM who belongs to Metis is biased. Not according to me. Not according to me. According to a kooky MLA who belongs to BJP again. I mean, yesterday Home Minister was comparing other PM who did not speak on the important issues. In that case, how is the universal guru Narendra Modi is different from the other Prime Minister? Because according to BJP, मेरा वाला प्रधानमंत्री तो सबसे अलग है, खाक अलग है, कोई अलग नहीं है वो भी. There should be no other business discussed except Manipur. And the Prime Minister should immediately address the nation specifically on Manipur, period.
So just to
this
be
is
clear,
not some political
this
or
divide between
chaos.
the two communities has been created by the BJP? Has it occurred in 2014?
I'm telling you.
Has this divide suddenly emerged in
That's what I'm telling
2014?
People are interested to talk about past 3 decades. Padmaja, let me complete. People, I'm not targeting you, but Shehzad and BJP, they want to talk about past. अगर कांग्रेस इतना ही खराब था, कांग्रेस तो आज नहीं है.
But sir, we cannot divorce our present from our
but
past.
मेरा वाला प्रधानमंत्री तो सबसे अलग है ना.
If we ignore the mistakes of the past, we are doomed to repeat them.
उसका प्रधानमंत्री,
इसका प्रधानमंत्री. It's not like somebody can jump into Sri Lanka today and say, oh, you know, the Tamil Eelam problem is being created today. No, it is something that has a history. It was created in the past.
But Manipur 2017 assembly election, Narendra Modi ji was there. He promised to solve each and everything in 6 months.
Okay.
He started the suspension of operation. He promised the cookies and the metis. सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. क्यों? Because BJP कहते हैं मेरा वाला प्रधानमंत्री सबसे अलग है.
Let Shantanu Gupta respond to this. Let Shantanu Gupta respond to this. Shantanu Gupta, you are the party with the difference. The BJP is a party with the difference. आपकी promises, आपकी जवाबदेही. You will be answerable for what you promised.
I think this argument is like, I'm not accountable. The Congress is giving like an argument that I'm not accountable to anything because I not promised anything, right? So I know that's a defeatist argument. See, they brought the no confidence motion around Manipur. And today, in fact, Prime Minister got a detailed opportunity to explain, and a lot of us are explaining from last many days, the whole history of Manipur, right? The whole history of ethnic cleanses in whole of Northeast, right? And you also tried to explain you yourself a couple of minutes back. And so I think Prime Minister and the opposition both were talking to the people of India, and both got it that what were made out to be, it's not true. It's a long history, and what happened in Northeast. So that was the level of debate. That's the level of tolerance.
No, but that's not the question asked of you. The question is you're saying that people trust Mr. Modi to solve it. That is why they voted in the Biren Singh government to solve it.
Exactly.
Why didn't they solve it?
See, if it's so simple like a Maggi noodles, I'm saying it would have been solved, right? It's a complicated problem. It's a social problem. There are large communities involved. It's not a one-day thing, right? And I think today through Parliament, Prime Minister was able to tell that it's a long problem, and what happened in previously, like the DGP was removed, the Chief Secretary was removed, the advisor was sent, the Home Minister was sent. I think a lot of rumors like YouTubers were spreading all around.
Okay.
Today that was settled, and then the point was the whole debate was around Manipur, and when he started speaking, they didn't have the gumption to even stay. They just walked out, right? Which showed that they were just doing it just for the heck of it.
Okay.
They never wanted any answer.
Respond to this, Tauseef or Rehman. That essentially when the opposition walked out, it showed that they had no interest in answers.
No, of course. They had their own democracy to walk out or what they want to do because they are the member of parliament as well. And they were waiting for the Prime Minister from last 80 days to speak on Manipur. Again, after 90 minutes, there was an installment of speech on Manipur. But again, I don't want to do outer-boundary what he did and all. I want to ask my respectable panelist that I have some question, which maybe I'm not sure. ASI has discovered that very precious metal have been found in the hills of Manipur.
Oh, sir,
is this the reason behind the war and the ethnic cleansing in Manipur? So that the corporates can take
YouTube channel that we come up with these conspiracy theories.
Why can we go
there?
We need a reason.
Party. Come on.
If the Prime Minister cannot give us the reason,
let me please.
If the Prime Minister cannot give us the reason, if Shehzad cannot give us the reason, if it is not ethnic cleansing,
but I need
then
your
what is
immunity
it?
so that I don't.
I would like to point out that this is a conspiracy theory being raised by the spokesperson of a mainstream party. But answer it.
And I want immunity for just 30 seconds. Tauseef, you said I'm your best friend suddenly, so I hope you'll give me 30 seconds now. Padmaja, is Times of India and Times fact check reliable?
Of course.
It is? Thank you. Times of India did a story on July 27, 2023 that a disturbing video from Myanmar was being peddled as a Christian girl being brutally executed in Manipur. Very responsible of Times of India. Who tweets that video? Kirti Azad. Kirti Azad shamelessly tweets that video just like his spokesperson here is shamelessly peddling a half-truth and a lie. This is Kirti Azad's tweet. 1 second, now do not interrupt me. Now, Mr. Tauseef Rehman, since I'm your best friend, listen to what we've done in the last 9 years, which you could not do in the last 60 years with your Congress party. We signed the Bodo Accord, we signed the Bruriong Agreement, we signed the NLFT Agreement, we signed the Karbi Anglong Agreement, we signed the Assam Meghalaya Interstate Boundary Agreement, and we removed AFSPA from many parts of the Northeast. You did not do it. और जो कांग्रेस को आप बुरा कह रहे हो, उसकी गोद में जाकर बैठे हो. वही कांग्रेस जिसने ममता बनर्जी पर क्या हमला किया था लेफ्ट के साथ मिलकर, आज उनकी गोद में बैठे हो आप और हमसे सवाल पूछ रहे हो. और पूछो सवाल. But I want to ask you one question, that when we are saying that we will solve it, yes, nobody said 6 months. We said we will solve it. Many of the things have been solved in Northeast. But tell me, Rajasthan तो अच्छा भला स्टेट है ना, वहां पर चीफ मिनिस्टर बोलता है 50% रेप केसेस आर फेक, और आपकी मंत्री जब मालदा में 2 महिलाएं आदिवासी निर्वस्त्र होती हैं तो शशि पांजा हैज द ऑडेसिटी टू से कितना कपड़ा निकला. वीडियो सुनाओ, ऑडियो सुनाओ.
Okay, let's not again compare between states. The point is
no,
today,
is the stripping of one Adivasi woman in Malda any less painful?
it is not. It is not. But again, today it is specific to Manipur.
That's all right.
20 seconds.
Yes. Today
Padmaja,
it's
20
specific to
seconds.
Manipur. Yes.
Actually, Manipur problem.
Padmaja, 20 seconds.
Just a second, come
20
back to
seconds,
you. I'll come
Padmaja.
back to you, Tauseef. Yes.
Shehzad, again.
Kirti Azad spread a lie. You first get that Kirti Azad to apologize to the country and stop spreading such venomous lies.
No.
When Manipur is a situation where all of us should be saying that let's have peace in Manipur.
What Amit Malviya did,
So
I
Mr.
don't
Kirti
want to do
Azad and you
what
are
about
cut from the same
I
cloth.
don't
You
want
all
to do
want
what
to
about
break
what
the
Amit
fragment
Malviya
of
did
this
on
country
17th of
for
July.
some votes. But the people of
Shehzad,
India are
on
too
the
smart to allow
17th of
this to
July,
happen.
Amit Malviya did the same
Forget
thing.
Amit Malviya for
I am not
change.
raising
You
it.
have a phobia about Amit Malviya.
said
Leave
the
Amit
same thing
Malviya
on
out of
17th
this.
July. No. Why? I have a whataboutery as well. I can give you some reasons.
Okay, let's
I'm
not
not being
like I just
unreasonable.
said,
But why
I'm
this no
requesting you,
confidence
gentlemen,
motion?
Let's
I
not
have the
engage in that
following things.
whataboutery. That's what I said at the outset.
मणिपुर की प्रॉब्लम जो है बहुत डीप है. वहाँ दो कम्युनिटीज हैं, मैथीज एंड कुकीज, उनके बीच में देयर इज अ सीवियर ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट. मैथीज डजंट सिट विद द कुकीज डजंट कोऑपरेट विद द मैथीज. पुलिस, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, system, everywhere this differences and these tension is very deep rooted. तो सबसे पहली जरूरत यह है कि वहां उन दोनों कम्युनिटीज के बीच में ट्रस्ट डेवलप किया जाए, और उसके लिए इनके जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हैं, इनके ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, इनकी मीटिंग्स हो, और उसकी पहल दिल्ली में होम मिनिस्ट्री शायद कर भी रही है. कर रही है. अभी मीटिंग्स हुई है 2-3 राउंड, आज हमने भी इसको देखा है. तो बजाय ब्लेम गेम इज नॉट द सोल्यूशन. बीजेपी इज ब्लेमिंग कांग्रेस इज ब्लेमिंग बीजेपी, एंड तो दिस इज मणिपुर शुड नॉट बी मेड द इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर द पॉलिटिक्स फॉर 2024.
But that is what it has become.
It is very, I think, shameful from both sides. बिकॉज वो आप कहिए 63 में ऐसा हुआ था, वो कहे नहीं आपने किया है, बीजेपी जिम्मेदार है, वो कहे बेसिक जिम्मेदारी जो है वहां लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की थी. सीएम की बात जो मैंने की थी, सीएम पर ट्रस्ट नहीं है वहां, मैथीज को ट्रस्ट नहीं है. वीरेंद्र सिंह कोऑपरेट कर रहे होंगे, सॉरी कुकीज को. तो जब एक कम्युनिटी का ट्रस्ट नहीं होता है, सेंट्रल रूल क्यों होता है इंपॉर्टेंट? सेंट्रल रूल इसलिए होता है कि दैट इज न्यूट्रल, और वहां पर गवर्नर के एडवाइजर वो काम करते हैं अंडर द सुपरविजन ऑफ द होम मिनिस्ट्री. इसलिए सेंट्रल रूल की डिमांड की जाती है कभी भी सिचुएशन में. लेकिन मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, अगर वीरेंद्र सिंह काम कर रहे हैं और कुकीज और मैथीज के बीच में कोई ट्रस्ट डेवलप होता है, तो कोई हटाना इतना जरूरी नहीं है. मैं जरूरत इस बात की है, और आज जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने एक फाइनली जो अपील की है अपने एड्रेस की, मुझे लगता है कि अपोजिशन को वहां होना चाहिए था. अगर अपोजिशन को वॉकआउट भी करना था, वॉकआउट इज देयर डेमोक्रेटिक राइट्स इन द पार्लियामेंट, तो शायद पीएम की स्पीच पूरी होने के बाद वो कर सकते थे उसको. लेकिन वो बीच में ही उन्होंने वॉकआउट कर दिया, ये कहते हुए कि पीएम मणिपुर नहीं बोल रहे हैं. आप इंतजार तो करते कम से कम कि पीएम अपनी स्पीच कंक्लूड करे, और तब अगर वो मणिपुर पर नहीं बोलते तब उनको वॉकआउट करना चाहिए था. लेकिन उन्होंने शायद वही पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटेजी, और एक मुझे और लगता है पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटेजी इसमें भी रही होगी कि अगर वोट कम पड़ जाते मान लीजिए अगेंस्ट द इन फेवर ऑफ मोशन, तो इंडिया अलायंस को एक्सपोज होने का भी डर था. मान लीजिए 5 वोट 10 वोट कम पड़ जाए तो हेडलाइन वो बनती फिर कि विपक्ष में टूट हो गई, इंडिया में भी डिफरेंसेस हो गए. तो ये भी एक पार्ट ऑफ द स्ट्रेटजी रहा होगा.
And that is the whole point, because ultimately आप ऑप्टिक्स देखिए, वहां जाकर के संजय झा, The Prime Minister of the BJP can clearly say कि इनको तो मनी नहीं था मणिपुर सुनने का. They did not want to listen to answers. They just wanted to come. They wanted to say things like कि हम घसीट के प्रधानमंत्री को लेकर के आ गए सदन में. We forced him to give an answer. But when the answers came, Why were the opposition benches empty? It's as simple as that. Explain the optics to me. Just that.
Okay, let me explain to you, Padmaja. The opposition is forced to bring a no confidence motion against the government, knowing fully well that it is going to lose it, simply because that is the only strategy available to make the Vishnu Guru speak.
What is
when
the
a
strategy
state is
in walking
burning.
out?
I mean, look at the
I
shame of
applaud
India.
your strategy. Now explain to me the strategy in walking out. The Vishnu Guru
Okay, yeah.
came, Vishnu Guru spoke, you walked out. And
Okay,
that
let me tell
helps
you.
because...
Well, let me tell you. You know something, the truth? Rahul Gandhi has spoken the hard truth that is hurting the BJP and his cheerleaders. There is a woman gang raped, the
But
kind
why
of
did you walk
humiliation
out?
that has shamed our
Sir,
country.
we are shamed. There is no doubt about it. Everyone's ashamed. Everyone is traumatized. But why did you walk out?
Can you imagine the Prime Minister being silent on that subject for 80 days?
But when he spoke after 80 days, why did you walk out?
Well, let me tell you why. He comes to Parliament and he spends 90 minutes making an election speech for 2024. I mean, he's making a mockery of our democracy.
As opposed to the first 20 minutes of
133
Mr. Gandhi's
minutes, not
speech
90.
talking about Bharat Jodo Yatra and hurting ankles.
And let me tell you, Rahul Gandhi is not the Prime Minister of India.
Yeah.
Narendra Modi has
He's
a
never
job.
going to be one either.
Narendra Modi
Write
gets
it down.
paid
He's not going to be one either.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawalla will reply, but quick point by Vinod ji. हाँ.
Okay, then maybe.
इनफैक्ट अगर अपोजिशन बैकआउट नहीं करता तो उनके पास एक राइट टू रिप्लाई भी होता है और शायद तरुण गौरव गोगोई को देख रहा था
नाम लिया था गौरव
हाँ
गोगोई का at the end of
वो
it.
राइट टू रिप्लाई होता है और गौरव गोगोई कुछ नोट भी कर रहे थे पीएम की स्पीच बराबर तो वो बेहतर मौका होता उनके लिए कि वो राइट टू रिप्लाई में कुछ अपने पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रख सकते थे
On the floor of the house.
ऑन द फ्लोर ऑफ द हाउस जो रिकॉर्ड में जाता वो भी शायद जो है मौका खो दिया है उन्होंने
Sir, आपने force किया the Prime Minister to come according to your own assertions. This needed to be a part of parliamentary record. लोग 15 साल बाद 50 साल बाद पढ़ते they would have said this is what the Congress said when the Prime Minister spoke on Manipur and ring fenced him. That is the question. But why did it take 60 minutes for the Prime Minister to come to the point?
First of all, may I, Padmaja, thank you. The only people feeling shamed by Rahul Gandhi's speech are his regular darbaris because even they are shocked that Rahul Gandhi could miss such an opportunity so badly. Secondly, whether the Prime Minister should speak in the first 10 minutes, next 10 minutes, you made the instrument of no confidence motion. We were telling you Manipur par charcha kar lo. You then made a rule the issue. We said let's have a clear-cut discussion on Manipur. You said नहीं मणिपुर पर पीएम बोलेंगे उसके बिना पार्लियामेंट में कार्रवाई नहीं होगी दिल्ली सर्विसेज पर बैठ गए फिर नो कॉन्फिडेंस आप लाए अब नो कॉन्फिडेंस में आप लाए तो टीआर बालू क्या मणिपुर पर बोले सौगत रॉय मणिपुर पर बोले सुप्रिया सुळे मणिपुर पर बोली डिंपल यादव 500 रुपए की थाली के बारे में बोली थी मणिपुर पर बोली तो मणिपुर पर नहीं बोले सब पर बोले तो हमने भी सब पर बोला और मणिपुर पर भी बोला पर मेरा सवाल यह है कि ये जो अभी विनोद जी ने बताया ना वो सच है मोदी जी ने पहले वाक्य में बताया ये मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस टेस्ट नहीं है ये इनका फ्लोर टेस्ट है और अपनी फ्लोर अर्थात अपनी जमीन खिसकते देख मणिपुर का म सुन नहीं पाए तुम लोगों ने मौन करते रहे तुम गौन हो तुम लोगों को मणिपुर से कोई चिंता नहीं है अगर मणिपुर की चिंता होती महिलाओं की चिंता होती तो आप लोग महिलाओं के विषय पर सुनते और जैसे राइट टू रिप्लाई था हमें चिथड़े कर देते पर बाकी पता है आपको क्या बोला एक लास्ट स्टेटमेंट अधीर रंजन चौधरी टुडे सेड द मोस्ट डेंजरस स्टेटमेंट एंड आई विल सेंड इट टू आई कैन प्ले इट ऑन द he said Manipur is no longer a state or a national issue it is a global issue this man who has internationalized Kashmir whose forefathers including Nehru have internationalized Kashmir are now internationalizing Manipur do you support the internationalization of Manipur
Let's get in the DMK apology Selam Dharnidharan but your opening comments about what is being alleged now is bad strategy in walking out.
Pardon?
When the Prime Minister started speaking on Manipur, the opposition walking out, do you think it was smart strategy, bad strategy?
See, the Prime Minister has remained silent for more than 4 months. It's not just that, he is the only Prime Minister in the history of India to have spoken in lesser number of debates. He has participated in 10 times lesser number of debates than the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji. That itself clearly shows that this Prime Minister is not keen on listening and even participating in debates. Right, and also he was only giving election speech. He was lying. He was saying India is now overtaken England in GDP, but
sir, he
not
spoke almost
GDP.
for an hour on Manipur exclusively on Manipur.
Yes, I listened to the speech. What did he say? Oh, we'll bring development. But what has happened so far? What did he do so far? Nothing. You have the intelligence, you have the raw, you have the IB. What were you doing? Why did you not predict something like this was going to happen? Even after the things were happening, nothing happened. The chief minister remains the chief minister. There's no new chief minister in place. There is no. You could have at least had emergency.
Just a second. What do you make of the suggestion? What do you make of the suggestion that the walkout was preempting that perhaps the numbers would not show up comfortably for you, that fewer people than you had bargained for would actually vote for the no trust vote? Just like happened in the Delhi bill, where 3 people decided to absent. Jayant Chaudhary wasn't there.
No, that's absolutely not true. In fact, if you look at the Delhi bill in Rajya Sabha, we got about 102 and BJP got 132, which is one of the highest in history of India when an opposition getting that much votes for a bill.
Okay.
Right? So this is not true.
Okay, there is so much to unpack, I think, in what has been debated just today inside the Lok Sabha, because it's not just about Manipur, it's not about sending out a political message, but like the Prime Minister today said, this is also about the next 6 years. Remember, he ended his speech today by saying that 2028 you will bring another no confidence motion. Come better prepared, I will be here. The ultimate decision, though, will be also of the people of Manipur and the people of India. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for having joined.